Dragon Ball GT is a series that has a tendency to split the fanbase in two. Many love it and many hate it, and then there are people like me who didn't really care for it. That is until I rewatched the entire series for this video, and I must say it isn't as bad as many say it is, especially if you watched it in sub, which is the way that many GT fans would recommend watching it. But let me not waste your time and let's jump right into it. The Black Star Dragon Ball Saga is the saga that kicks off this series, and personally I found this arc to be enjoyable. The vibe that they tried to capture with this saga was the original search for the Dragon Balls back in Dragon Ball, turning Goku into a kid, a grand search for mystical items, and a number of enemies to stand in the ways of our heroes. All of these decisions scream Dragon Ball. It wasn't the best way to start off the series in my opinion, but it could have been way worse. Moving on to the characters that this saga introduced us to, well, there was a decent amount of them, but I'll only be going over the ones that live rent free inside of my head. We got Giru, Dr. Mew, General Rildo, Legic, and the Para brothers. Now as for who the big bad of this saga was, well, the thing is there really isn't one. Just like the hunt for the Dragon Balls in the original series, these saga's primary goal was to retrieve these mystical orbs and focused more on comedy and light-hearted tones, with the combat being pushed more towards the back burner. If anything, we can say that Dr. Mew was the primary antagonist for this saga, as he was the most prevalent enemy they faced. Now for our heroes, it was to acquire all the Dragon Balls and bring them back to Earth in order to stop the destruction of their world, a consequence of using the Black Star Dragon Balls. As for Dr. Mew's goals, he wanted to rule over the galaxy with his army of machine mutants, you know, bad guy stuff. Now the key moments in this saga include Uben Goku's training finally coming to an end after 5 years, the reveal of the Black Star Dragon Balls, as well as the reveal of Ultimate Shenron, Goku being turned back into a kid, King Kai informing our heroes about what would happen if the Black Star Dragon Balls are returned to Earth, Goku, Pan, and Trunks accidentally being sent on a mission to retrieve the Dragon Balls, Goku vs Legic, the introduction of the legendary Para brothers, and the introduction of Giru. The Baby Saga is one of the best sagas in Dragon Ball GT. Hell, many would argue that it's one of the best sagas within the Dragon Ball series as a whole, and I for one definitely agree. This saga sees our heroes pay for the transgression of their ancestors, as they face off against an ancient enemy, the Truffles. If you haven't watched Dragon Ball GT and don't plan on it due to what you've heard, I'd advise giving this saga a try, as it's bound to exceed your expectation. But the thing about this saga is that it picks up right where the previous saga left off, so you might be a little confused. Anyways, starting off with the characters, this saga introduces us to Baby. Wait, is that really all we got? Well, don't be alarmed by this, as the Baby Saga makes great use of this new character as well as already existing characters. And if you were wondering who the big bad of this saga was, well, it was none other than Baby himself. No, not you. Get out of here. Baby is the last living truffle within the Dragon Ball universe, and his goal is a simple one, and that is simply to get revenge on the Saiyans for doing what they did to his people. And if you know what Saiyans were all about back then you can guess what they did. Now as for our heroes' goals, well, due to this saga picking up where the last one left off, the first part of this saga saw them trying to return the Black Star Dragon Balls to Earth. Once that goal was completed, their next one was to stop Baby from enacting his plan. Moving on to the key moments, we got Goku versus General Rildo and everything that brought us, General Rildo capturing our heroes, Giro's change of heart, which leads to him saving our heroes, the reveal of Baby within Dr. Mew's lab, Goku, Pan, and Trunks seemingly destroying the Truffle, Baby's rebirth with the use of Dr. Mew's body, the death of General Rildo, Baby being revealed to still be alive and being able to jump from body to body like a parasite, Baby making his escape from our heroes and arriving on Earth before them, Baby taking control of Goten, Goten versus Gohan, Baby taking control of Gohan, Goten and Gohan versus Vegeta, Baby taking control of Vegeta and making him his primary host, Baby spreading his infection throughout the entire world, Goku, Pan, and Trunks arriving on Earth with the Black Star Dragon Balls, Mr. Satan revealing what happened with Baby, Baby Vegeta versus Goku, Baby Vegeta's revenge death ball, Kibito Kai rescuing Goku from certain death, Baby Vegeta using the Black Star Dragon Balls in order to wish for Planet Plant back and moving everyone over there, Old Kai's plan to help Goku attain additional power by having the Saiyan regrow his tail, Oob versus Baby Vegeta, the birth of Majub, Majub versus Baby Vegeta versus Super Saiyan 3 Goku, the birth of the Golden Great Ape, the birth of Super Saiyan 4 Goku, Super Saiyan 4 Goku versus Baby Vegeta using the Blood's Wave generator to turn himself into a Golden Great Ape, Golden Great Ape Baby versus Super Saiyan 4 Goku, Super Saiyan 4 Goku's Kamehameha times 10, Majub erupting from Baby's stomach, Baby leaving Vegeta's body due to the injuries, Goku blasting Baby into the sun and eliminating him for good, Goku and the others transferring everyone to Planet Plant due to Earth's impending destruction, Piccolo's death, and the Namekian Dragon Balls being used to bring the Earth back. The Super 17 saga was one of the weakest. Who am I kidding? it was the weakest part of Dragon Ball GT, only containing a pitiful 6 episodes and a plot that would make the ending of the Future Trunks saga look like peak fiction. It's not really doing itself any favors in the eyes of Dragon Ball fans, and it's kinda sad to see because this saga had a pretty cool premise. It kinda reminded me of Dragon Ball Z Fusion Reborn, and honestly could have been one of the stronger sagas just off the premise alone. Obviously they'd have to rewrite a lot of stuff, but it could have worked. Anyways, this saga introduces to Hellfighter 17, Super 17, and the Black Smoke Dragon. As for the villain of this saga, it was none other than the treacherous Super 17. I actually don't really know what his goal was. As for the most part, he was following orders to kill Goku, but he later changed his mind, and I guess he was going to do what he did in the History of Trunks special and just toy around with Earth and probably eventually destroy it and, take over the galaxy, something like that. As for our heroes, they wanted to put a stop to the chaos being brought upon the world due to Dr. Gero and Dr. Mew. This includes defeating Super 17. Moving on to the key moments in this saga, we got the 31st World Martial Arts Tournament and everything that brought us, Dr. Gero and Dr. Mew teaming up and creating Hellfighter 17, diabolical doctors opening up a portal between the world of the living and hell through the use of both Android 17s, old villains reappearing to do horrible things I'd imagine, Goku going through the portal to face off against the Doctor, only for them to pull an Uno reverse on him and escape while trapping him in hell, Goku vs Frieza and Cell, the Z Fighter versus their enemies from their past, this one being my favorite, Android 17 killing Krillin, making this his 5th death if we include Super, Goku returning to Earth after his fight with Frieza and Cell with the help of Piccolo, the birth of Super 17, Super 17 versus the Z Fighters, Super 17 killing Dr. Gero once again, Goku versus Super 17 and everything that brought us, Super 17 shocking Death Ball, Goku Super Dragon Fist, the death of Super 17, and the reveal of the Black Smoke Dragon. The Shadow Dragon saga is the last saga within Dragon Ball GT, and it's one of its strongest. But to be fair, the competition wasn't too fierce. The only problem that I had with it is that it felt a little too Monster of the Week for me in the earlier parts of the saga, and it really doesn't ramp up until the end. However, just like a lot of ideas from Dragon Ball GT, they were great, but unfortunately they were poorly executed or weren't executed well enough. Now this saga introduces us to the 7 Shadow Dragons, but only 3 of them are worth mentioning: Nova Shenron, Ice Shenron, and Sin Shenron. After this, we got introduced to Goku and Vegeta Jr. at the end of the series. As for the big bad, well, every Shadow Dragon was an enemy to some extent, but the one who really steals the show is Sin Shenron, whose goal is to absorb all the Dragon Balls in order to get stronger and then destroy the universe. As for our heroes, it was to defeat all the Shadow Dragons so that they can get all the Dragon Balls back. The key moments include the birth of the Shadow Dragons, Goku and Pan versus the 4 other Shenrons, Super Saiyan 4 Goku versus Nova Shenron and everything that brought us, Goku versus Ice Shenron, the death of Ice and Nova Shenron, Sin Shenron versus Goku, the birth of Omega Shenron, Goku versus Omega, the birth of Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, Goku and Vegeta versus Omega, the birth of Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, Gogeta versus Omega and everything that came with that, Gogeta unfusing, Goku's Spirit Bomb that finished off the Omega, and what is possibly the single best ending that this entire franchise has ever produced. And if you think we're done, well, you'd be wrong, as the last key moment we get to see is Goku Jr. and Vegeta Jr. going toe to toe against one another at the World Martial Arts Tournament. And with that, this puts an end to this saga as well as an end to Dragon Ball GT. Thank you to everyone that watched this video. I hope you have a great day. Peace, peace. Deuce, deuce.